So your favorite four-legged Fido just loves it outside, but you really don't want to just open the door and let him take off, maybe for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, perhaps you have a gardener who has seen you dig and just wants to help out, that's all. Maybe you've got a swimmer and you're just tired of cleaning all the hair out of your filter, or possibly you've got a wanderer, but you still want to enjoy the great outdoors without the visual interruption of a fence. So you consider putting your dog out on a chain or tether. That should be all right, right?
Yeah, not necessarily. The Humane Society of the United States says in many cases the necks of chained dogs become raw and covered with sores, the result of improperly fitted collars and the dog's constant yanking and straining to escape confinement. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says our experience in enforcing the Animal Welfare Act has led us to conclude that continuous confinement of dog by a tether is inhumane. Now, even if you're just dog tired at the end of the day and not up to taking your favorite furry friend out for a walk, there could be an alternative for you. In today's Angie's List report, how pet fence systems make it possible to throw open the back door and let your pet walk himself.
Greg Smith is the owner of 6 Chihuahuas. Greg and his dogs can now all enjoy their backyard now that there's an underground fence.
We actually installed it shortly after we moved in about 3 years ago. It was working either with that one or a regular fence, and it seemed more convenient for us to be able to still see the nature, still see the wildlife back in the back if we used an underground fence.
Bob Swarm is a fence contractor and says an underground or wireless pet fence can be a great option for pet owners who don't want a physical fence between them and their neighbors. You can tailor the layout of the fence to restrict virtually any area you want, so you can run it around the entire yard, the flower beds, the swimming pool, or the kids' play area.
When they go out and get near the line, the collar reads the radio signal. The dog will get a tone, and that's its warning that you need to get back. So really the training's all about teaching the dog to back up when it hears the tone.
Bob says an important thing to remember is that it's not as easy as flipping a switch. You need to train your dog so they understand what the tone means and what happens if they choose to ignore it.
The dog's reaction at the very beginning, it probably took us a couple hours to get the dogs all used to it with 6 of them. We kind of individually took each one out and brought them up to the fence slowly so they could hear the noise. And then if they proceeded any farther, they felt the shock. So it didn't seem like it hurt them or anything like that.
Angie Hicks with Angie's List says some people are naturally concerned about how involved the training is and what exactly it is your dog's going to feel when they get zapped.
So you want to be sure that you're talking to any installer about what kind of training is incorporated with the cost of the fence. And if you're concerned about the charge that potentially comes with the fence and your pet, you should also consult your veterinarian.
All of them ultimately will shock them. The thing about it is, you know, kind of our moniker is safer by design, greater peace of mind. You know, it used to be when I started here 10 years ago, we had 4 shock levels. Now we have 13. A lot of times I'll insist a homeowner feel it. I said, I want you to know what your dog is experiencing. It takes a lot, you know, it eases their mind a lot to know that their dog's not getting zapped, you know, to a point where it's making them fearful.
Bob says the collars contain batteries that typically need to be replaced every 3 to 4 months, which can cost between $15 and $20. Now, if you're really concerned about whether it's something your dog can handle or not, experts say sit down and discuss it with your veterinarian. So why not just get a regular old traditional fence?
I can't tell you how many times in the years, you know, we've ran an estimate, we follow up, the people end up saying, well, we've decided to put in a chain link fence or a privacy fence. And then 2 weeks later, after that fence is in, they call us and say, my dog's climbing over the fence, my dog's digging under the fence. And those traditional fences, although for what they're for, they're fine, but they can cost thousands of dollars more than what, you know, an underground fence will cost.
An invisible fence can be less expensive than a traditional fence. It can run anywhere from a few $100s to $1,000 depending on the size of the area that you're trying to contain.
By the way, Angie also says it's important to remember these systems don't keep other animals out, and you can hire an installer to do it for you, or you can do it yourself. But remember to call Miss Utility before you dig so you don't end up accidentally cutting your phone line, your television cable, or even worse, the power to your house.
Yeah. Well, you can't have a pet fence without a pet, right?
works that way for me, yes.
And if you're looking to add a new four-legged member to the family, have you considered adopting?
Brian Spiros is at the Caroline County Humane Society in Ridgely with some great animals. Brian?
Well, Jimmy and Lisa, so many great animals are looking for a home like Kelly here. Isn't she absolutely adorable? She wants to go home with someone, and so do so many of the other animals here at Caroline County Humane Society. We're going to introduce you to some of them when we come back. You're watching Delmarva Life. Stay with us.